All right, for this project, you're going to make a block dog to go with your block dude you made. Don't spend too much time on making the dog look too good because we will learn ways how to make better models in the near future. So these are just cubes. These are just cubes extruded. And I will show you a little secret. If you forget when you're starting to make your dog, I would start with a cube. And what you can do is you can go into edit mode, split the cube in half with a loop cut, take away those faces, half of the faces, and then apply your mirror modifier, which is always a useful tool. And then you just have to make sure the axis is proper. So it doesn't look like the X one's going to do it for me. I want to smear it across the Y axis. And then you'll get a nice symmetrical dog once you start extruding and doing whatever it is that you need to do. Maybe turn. Yeah, that should be good. So there's your little hint. And before you leave me, I'm going to bring back my dog here. You're going to armature your dog. Okay, so it's a little bit more complicated than a human armature, but I'll show you mine just because I'm nice. And you're really going to focus on nice and tight and rigid and perpendicular and straight horizontal, angles and stuff like that. So you're really going to want to take advantage of your XY axes locks here. A nice, perfect little armature. And before you leave me, one more thing. Once you have your armature, you might run into this issue. Maybe you did with the last one. For example, I ran into this issue. So I've got my armature and I think that, everything's all hunky-dory here. But if I go into pose mode and I select kind of the roots bone, such as the spine, which often is, if I press G to move it, that's F, you'll notice almost all of the child bones come with it except for this leg. This leg didn't get connected for some reason, even though it looks like it should. So if this ever happens to you, all you need to do is just work your way up from the bottom of the chain to the top. So select my bottom bone, hold shift and select that bone, and then control P, keep offset. And then work your way up the next one. Select this bone and then select the next bone. That is the main central bone, the spine bone. Control P and keep offset. I guess I parented those. So just something to be wary of once you're working with your armatures, because you're kind of doing this one on your own. And just give your bones a little test. Make sure that everything's all good. There we go. And finally, you're going to make a few animations. You can make an idle animation. You could make any kind of animation. I want 3 in total. So I don't know, just think of what dogs do or think of what your dog does. I would stray away from any movement animations just for now. We're going to tackle that issue later. But you could make your dog sit. You could make it shake a paw. You could make it wag its tail. I don't have a tailbone. Maybe you want to put one in yours. You could make it pee. That's pretty easy. Look at that right there. You could make him, nod his head, say yes, whatever. You can make him bark. You can make him, dogs. Anyways, so give me 3 animations, and then you're going to slap them in Unity, and we're slowly building our little playground of models with living animations. So we should have some things to choose from in our Unity game right now. We've got quite the who's who of things going on right here. But nevertheless, this is a good place to start. And yeah, good armature practice.